Welcome to the next session of Design of Pre-Stressed Concrete Elements course. In the last session, we have discussed regarding the loss of pre-stress. In that, we have defined what is the meaning of loss of pre-stress and what are the various types of loss of pre-stress that will come in the PSC beam based upon the tensioning system. That is, pre-tensioning will be having a different types of loss of pre-stress, and in post-tensioning system we have a different types of loss of pre-stress. So in connection to that, we have also been discussed the various the loss of pre-stresses, that is in connection with pre-tensioning and post-tensioning. And also we have come across with the formula to calculate the loss of pre-stress in each particular losses. So in this particular session, so as I discussed regarding those types of losses in pre-tensioning and post-tensioning system, so let us further discuss as per the IS 1343/2012 code, what are the loss of pre-stress that will be encountered in the PSC, and then how to calculate those losses as per IS 1343/2012. Because in the last section, as I've been stated that you can also, instead of remembering the formula, you can also use this particular code book, okay, and you can go ahead with these types of formula. But one very important or one thing is they are not going to give in detail. Okay, we need to they are going to give it in the text format. Okay, so instead of giving a formula, they are going to write in text format. Okay, so which I am going to discuss now. So we'll come to know, okay, how to go ahead with those formulas. So this is the codal provision used in IS, design of pre-stressed concrete elements. So that is IS 1343/2012. So this says pre-stressed concrete code of practice second revision. So this is the codal provision we are going to follow. Next, let me go ahead with the content. You can see these are the sections, okay, that will be there. One is general, section 2, that is material, workmanship, inspection and testing, section 3, general design requirements, section 4, structural design limit state methods. So let me proceed further. Okay, so these are all the contents they have been given. That is general. Okay, and next, material, workmanship, inspection and testing. That means what are the materials we are going to use in order to produce the pre-stressed concrete. So the concrete should possess the properties. What are the grades? How should be the workability? How should be the durability? So what is the mix proportion we are going to use in order to produce the pre-stressed concrete? How to produce that concrete? So all those aspects has been discussed in section 2. Apart from this concrete, they also been discussed the regarding the steel study, that is pre-stressing steels. Okay, how to go ahead with the pre-stressing, how to do the grouting, because I've already been explained. So in the post-tension case, in order to create a bonding between the tendon and the concrete, we are going to do the grouting. So that also they have been discussed here. And how to transport this concrete, place the concrete, compact it, and how to go ahead with curing. So all these aspects they have been discussed. So in section 3, general design requirements. Okay, so that is in general effect of pre-stress, reduction for pre-stressing tendons. Okay, instability during erection, pre-stressing requirements. So all those things that is discussed in section 3, general design. So next, in particular, that is section 4, they have been discussed the structural design part. Okay, that is limit state method. Okay, so as we know, there will be 3 limit state of designs, that is limit state of collapse, serviceability designs. Okay, the characteristic strength, characteristics loads, design values, partial safety factors, analyzing the PSC structure. Next, limit state of collapse in flexure, compression, tension, shear, torsion. Likewise, limit state of serviceability, deflection, cracking. So all these things they have been depicted in this particular code. So let me move on to the okay, the today's discussion. So that is regarding the laws of pre-stress. Okay, you can see the all those terminology also being defined here. Okay, so in the section 1, so that you can know thoroughly what are the things you can discuss. So let me go ahead with the today's topic. So okay, that is which I was discussing in the last session, that is laws of pre-stress. So now let us go ahead with these laws of pre-stress as per IS 1343, okay, 2012. Okay, so coming to the section 3. So please note down, in section 3, general design requirements, you will come across this laws of pre-stress part. So first, coming to the class 19.5, page number 24. Class 19.5, page number 24. So let me go ahead. So maximum initial pre-stress. That means what is the initial pre-stress you are going to put or you are going to get from the particular steel. So that they have been mentioned. That is at the time of initial tensioning, the maximum tensile stress. That is FPI. FPI means initial tensile stress, okay, is immediately behind the anchorage shall not exceed 76% of the ultimate tensile strength of the wire, or it may be bar or a strand. So this is the important clause they have been mentioned. So whatever the initial pre-stress that will be come across from the pre-stressing steel, so that should not exceed 76% of the ultimate tensile strength value of a wire or a bar or a strand. Okay, so this is the initial, because this initial pre-stress value is very much important while solving the problem. Okay, so they are going to give a data. Okay, and sometimes we need to calculate this. Okay, we'll come across this part in the while solving the problem. Next, coming to the losses in pre-stress. So this is the topic which I wanted to discuss in today's session, because in the last session we have been discussed okay, the loss of pre-stress or different types of loss of pre-stress. But today I'm going to discuss the losses in pre-stress, okay, preferably as per IS 1343 2012. Okay, so we know from the last session that in pre-tensioning we'll be having a different types of loss of pre-stress, and in post-tensioning we'll be having a different types of losses. That is, you know that the loss due to elastic deformation, shrinkage, creep, relaxation loss, all those things. So these four losses will be there in pre-tension and post-tension. Apart from these four losses, you will come across two more losses in the case of post-tensioning. That is loss due to friction and loss due to anchorage slip. So all these things have been in detail have been discussed. Okay, so let us know as per IS 1343 2012 what exactly this code specifies. So first let me start with the as usual number 1, that is loss of pre-stress due to elastic shortening or deformation of concrete. So this will be there as per class 19.5.2.4, page number 25. So please remember this, because whatever the page number classes have been mentioning, so this will be useful while solving the problem in the examination, so that you can immediately open that particular class or page number in the code book and you can save the time instead of searching. So that's why I specify this. Okay, so clause 19.5.2.4, page number 25, clearly specifies loss of pre-stress due to elastic shortening or deformation. What it says, so this type of loss occurs when the pre-stressing tendon upon release from tensioning device causes the concrete to be compressed. This loss is proportional to the modular ratio and initial stress in the concrete. Okay, so that's what I think you know the formula. So loss of pre-stress due to elastic shortening or deformation equal to modular ratio alpha E multiplied by the FC, that is compressive stress at the in the concrete at the level of steel. So instead of giving in the formula, they have been written in the text form. So these things you need to know. So from by reading this text, you can know at least, okay, what formula you need to use. Is it clear? So next, coming to the pre-tensioning case. For pre-tensioning, the loss of pre-stress in the tendon at transfer shall be calculated on modular ratio. That's what basis using the stress in the adjacent concrete. So for pre-tensioning case, loss of pre-stress due to elastic deformation or shortening of concrete equal to modular ratio multiplied by the FC, that is compressive stress in in concrete at the level of steel. So this is the formula you are going to use to calculate the loss of pre-stress due to elastic shortening. So what about post-tensioning? So as I stated, you need to be very careful regarding the post-tensioning. That is, for member with post-tension tendons which are not stressed simultaneously, there is a progressive loss of pre-stress due to transfer due to the gradual application of the forces. So this loss of pre-stress can be calculated on the basis of the product of the stress in the concrete adjacent of the tendon averaged along their length and the modular ratio. Okay, that means the same formula we are going to use. Okay, okay, that means if the cables are not stressed simultaneously. Okay, so if the cables are tensioned one by one, then we need to use a formula, that is modular ratio multiplied by the FC value. The same formula as the pre-tension. But instead of, okay, the successive tensioning or one by one tensioning, whatever the cable they have been put inside the concrete, if they are going to tension, okay, simultaneously, then there will be no losses of pre-stress due to elastic shortening of concrete in the case of post tensioning. It will be zero. So you need to be very careful. Okay, so this is regarding your loss of pre-stress due to elastic shortening. So instead of giving a direct formula, they have been specified like this. So like coming to the next, shrinkage. So loss of pre-stress, that is class 19.5.2.2. So loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage of concrete. Loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage of concrete shall be the product of modulus of velocity of steel and the shrinkage strain of concrete calculated as per 6.2.4. So we know from the formula is loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage of concrete equal to epsilon Cs, that is a shrinkage strain multiplied by the modulus of elasticity. That's what they're being. It is the product of shrinkage strain, that is epsilon Cs. Okay, multiply, that is epsilon Cs means shrinkage strain in concrete. Okay, multiply by the modulus of elasticity of steel, that is ES. So this will get you the loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage. And this will be calculated as per 6.2.4. Okay, 6.2.4. Okay, so here also they are not going to specify any formula. You need to remember this text and you need to apply the formula. So next, we'll move on to the creep of concrete. So let me go with the creep of concrete. The creep of concrete is as per class 19.5.2.1, page number 24, it starts. Loss of pre-stress due to creep of concrete under load shall be determined, okay, for all the permanently applied load, including the pre-stress. Fine. That means whatever the PSC beam have been subjected, apart from the external load, it will also be subjected to the pre-stress. So because of this pre-stress also, it will undergo creep effect. So that's what they have been specified here. Next, the creep loss due to live load stresses, erection stresses and other stresses of short duration may be ignored. The loss of pre-stress due to creep of concrete is obtained. So please note down, the loss of pre-stress due to creep of concrete is obtained as the product of modulus of velocity of pre-stressing steel, that is ES, and the ultimate creep strain of concrete, that is epsilon Cc, which have been discussed, epsilon Cc of the concrete fiber integrated along the line of a center of gravity of the pre-stressing tendon at the section at which creep loss is being calculated. So the formula for this ultimate creep strain, so that means you know, that is loss of pre-stress due to creep of concrete can be calculated based upon the two formulas. One is ultimate creep strain method, another one is creep coefficient method. If based upon ultimate creep strain, if we want to calculate the loss of pre-stress due to creep, then the formula is loss of pre-stress due to creep of concrete equal to epsilon cc, that is ultimate creep strain, multiply by es multiply by fc. So this is the formula you are going to use to calculate the loss of pressure due to creep by ultimate creep strain method. For example, instead of this method, if you're going to use creep coefficient, so here they have not been mentioned creep coefficient. In earlier code, in 1980, they were used to specify creep coefficient. So after this 2012, I am also going to discuss some of the things in 1980 code also. Okay. So in 1980 code, okay, we used to calculate the loss of pre-stress due to creep, okay, based upon creep coefficient method. Okay, based upon creep coefficient method. Okay, is it clear? Next, loss of pre-stress due to relaxation of steel. So as we know, the relaxation losses in pre-stressing steel may vary with respect to the type of the steel, with respect to the initial pre-stress applied, with respect to the age of the steel, with respect to the temperature it has been manufactured, and therefore shall be determined from the experiments. So from the experiments, they are going to determine all these things. When experimental values are not available, the relaxation losses may be assumed based upon the table. So please note down, sometimes in the examination, they are going to miss the data. At that particular instance, we need to calculate certain things based upon the codal provision. Okay, in the problem, I'm going to discuss these things. Okay, sometimes they are not going to give any data. So, but you need to calculate based upon the codal provision. See here, so instead of giving, for example, in the problem, if they are not going to mention the relaxation loss, okay, in percentages, as I stated, the relaxation losses, they are going to mention in percentage. If they are not going to mention anything, okay, so then we can calculate the relaxation loss based upon this formula. You can see it. So based upon the table 6, you can calculate the relaxation losses. Is it clear? Next, we'll move on to the loss of pre-stress due to slip in anchorage. So that is any loss of pre-stress which may occur due to slip of wires during anchoring. So as I stated, whatever the anchorage device that was used in order to anchor or in order to tension the wires, so those anchoring devices will be slipped. Okay, so that is what anchorage slip. Okay, so that we are going to calculate. Okay, here they have not been specified any formula, so but we know the formula how to calculate. So that is loss of stress due to anchorage slip is equal to delta, that is anchorage slip in millimeter, multiply by modulus of elasticity of steel divided by the length, okay, of the cable in millimeter. So using these formula, we are going to calculate the loss of pre-stress due to slip in anchorage. Next, loss of pre-stress due to friction. So you need not to remember this formula. You can directly go to the code and you can, okay, know the formula. Okay, so that is the design shall taken into consideration all the losses in pre-stress that may occur during tensioning due to friction between the pre-stressing tendons and the surrounding concrete or any fixture attached to the steel or concrete. For straight or moderately curved structure, with curved or straight cable, the value of pre-stressing force, that is Px, at a distance x meter from the tensioning end and acting in the direction of tangent to the curve of the cable shall be calculated as below. So this have been discussed in the last session. Okay, that is Px is equal to P naught multiplied by exponential mu alpha plus Kx. Okay, that is where P naught is the pre-stressing force in the pre-stressed steel at the tensioning end acting in the direction of the tangent to the force of the cable, or I can say it is the initial pre-stress. Okay, in the cable. Alpha is the cumulative angle in the radians through which the tangent to the cable profile has turned between any 2 points under consideration. Mu, coefficient of friction in the curve, and x is the coefficient for wave effect, that is wobbling. So this value of mu and k, okay, are given below. Okay, you can see here. So based upon that, you can see the types of steel, wire cables, based upon the ducts. Okay, here they have been mentioned what is the K value and mu value. So when there is a data missing, okay, with respect to K and mu, you can pick up this K and mu value, okay, from this particular code, that is IS 1343/2012. So this is regarding the loss of pre-stress you people have come across. So please note down in page number 24, class 19.5, you will come across the losses in pre-stress, okay, and loss of pre-stress due to various phenomena. So this is with respect to 2012 code. So now let me move on to the next, that is, I will move to the next code, that is what I can say 1980 code. The next code I'm going to go is, so this is the, one sec. Yeah, this is the next code which I wanted to discuss. That is as per IS 1343/1980. So this is the earlier code we used to do. Okay, that is Indian Standard Code of Practice for Pre-Stressed Concrete. So here also the same thing they have been mentioned. Okay, the same classes, all the general design requirements, everything. So what you can get from this code, I will tell you. So these are basic terminologies. What is creep coefficient? What is creep? So everything they have been mentioned here. All the terminologies, whatever the terminologies have been discussed or which you are going to use in pre-stressed concrete. So all those things they have been discussed here. Okay, so this is the nomenclature which I've been using. That is symbols. Okay, A, B, D. What is the all the that is the abbreviations we are using. All those things they have been mentioned here. Next, materials. And you can see the modulus of elasticity, okay, in steel. Also they have been preferably given. Okay, next they have been given the characteristic strength or grade. Okay, and the next you can see the properties of a concrete, all this data. Okay, so now coming to these things, you can see that is the loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage of concrete. So as have been specified, that is you know that loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage of concrete will be given by epsilon cs into es. In 2012 code, okay, we are not using these formulas. Okay, but even today we are following certain formulas and they are not specified any formulas in 2012 code. So they have been given the experimental data. Okay, so but when you're going to use the formula, so this is the formula you're going to use. So that is epsilon cs multiplied by es, or else we can go ahead with this formula. For example, in the data, if they are going to mention the residual shrinkage strength, it is epsilon cs, then you can multiply that value by modulus of elasticity of steel, which is given in the problem, and there you will get the loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage. But instead of giving a loss of, that is residual shrinkage strength, that is epsilon cs, at that particular circumstance or absence of that data, we need to go ahead with these methods. That is, for pre-tensioning directly, they have been mentioned the loss of pre-stress, values due to shrinkage in the case of pre-tensioning, and this is the formula we are going to use in the case of post-tensioning. So please note down. So page number 16 clearly specified the shrinkage we are going to consider while calculating the loss of pre-stress due to shrinkage of a concrete. Is it clear? So like that, you can see creep coefficient, very important. Okay, so as I stated, in 2012 code, we are not going to use or calculate the loss of pre-stress due to creep of concrete by creep coefficient method. We are going to use ultimate creep strain method. But in 1980 code, okay, they are going to calculate in both the ways. One is by creep coefficient method and also by the ultimate creep strain method. Okay, so you can see in the absence of experimental data, okay, as I stated in the examination, if they are going to miss the creep coefficient data, you can go to this 1980 code, okay, that is page number 17, class 5.2.5.1. From this particular table, you can pick the creep coefficient values, that is 5 value. We can pick up of the value from the this particular code. So then the loss of pre-stress can be calculated like this, that is creep coefficient multiplied by modular ratio multiplied by FC, that is compressive stress in concrete at the level of steel. You will get loss of pre-stress due to creep of concrete. Is it clear? Next, so we will move on to the next. Okay, so that is whatever the thing have been highlighted in 2012 code. So once again we are going to discuss here also what they have been specified. Let us see that. Okay, so once again, as I stated, section 3 general design requirements. So in this particular session, okay, so there it was 19.5, here it is 18.5 class. In 2012 it was 19.5 class, here it is 18.5 class, and there it was page number is 25 and here it is page number 31. So and all these classes have been read, okay, which remains same, no changes. You can see here no changes. Okay, so all other things it will remain same with a slight modification. Okay, so like this, okay, we are going to calculate the loss of pre-stress, okay, due to, okay, the various phenomenon. You can go ahead. Okay, so by this I think you came to know how to calculate or use the various formula based upon the IS codes. So in the examination, preferably you carry both the codes, that is IS 1343 1980 and IS 1343 2012, so that it will help you, because creep coefficient, all those values, they have been not been mentioned in 2012, so that you can go ahead with 1980 code. Okay, so it will help you out in the examination. And also this code will be help you, so when there is an absence of data, for example creep coefficient data, if there is a missing in shrinkage data, so that particular instance, or relaxation of stress in steel data, at that particular instance you can go to the code and you can pick up the values and you can calculate the loss of pre-stress. Is it clear? So I think, hope you have understood how to calculate, okay, or how to people have come across the loss of stress, okay, or loss of pre-stress, okay, due to various phenomenon from these codes. Is it clear? So with these context, whatever your people have been learned from the last session and in this session as per the code, let us work out some problems so that you can come to know, okay, to calculate the loss of stresses. Is it clear? So let me start with the problems. So I will stop sharing this. I will go ahead with the problems now. So let me present the things. Fine. So let me go ahead with the problem. So this is the problem they have been given. So this is the first problem. Okay, I'm going to solve a very simple problem. And also this is the problem which they have been given in the examination. Okay, so also they have been given in examination. So first let me go. A pre-stressed concrete beam 200 mm wide and 300 mm deep is pre-stressed with wires of area 320 millimeter square, located at constant eccentricity of 50 millimeter, and carries an initial stress of 1000 Newton per millimeter square. The span of a beam is 10 meter. Calculate the percentage loss of stress in wires. If a beam is, okay, for a condition, it is pre-tension or beam is post-tension with the following data. So what are those data they have been given? So the data they have been highlighted are modulus of elasticity of steel, modulus of elasticity of concrete, relaxation of stress in steel, that is 5%. Next, shrinkage of concrete for pre-tensioning, shrinkage of concrete for post-tensioning. Okay, so both the things they have been mentioned. Creep coefficient they have been given 1.6. Slip at anchorage they have been given. Frictional coefficient or wave effect 0.0015 per meter. So these are all the data they have been specified. Okay, and what you need to calculate? What will be the percentage loss of stress? What will be the percentage loss of stress in the wires for a pre-tension beam and for a post-tension beam? So first thing, so when they give the problem, the very important thing you need to observe here is which is the type of a beam. That is, whether it is pre-tension beam or whether it is a post-tension beam. Why? Why we need to observe like this? Because the pre-tension beam will be having a different losses, and for post-tensioning beaming will be having a different types of losses. So based upon the type of a tensioning system or a beam, you need to solve or we need to calculate the loss of pre-stress in a particular beam. Is it clear? So coming to this problem, you need to calculate the percentage loss of stress in wire, both in the case of pre-tension and also in the case of post-tension. So please note this point. Okay, and these are all the data that have been specified. Okay, so with these, let us go ahead. So as I keep on mentioning, so that is, let us first calculate the sectional properties. So since it is a rectangular section of dimension 200 millimeter wide and 300 millimeter deep. Okay, so this is 200 millimeter wide, okay, and 300 millimeter deep, 300 millimeter deep. Okay, so this is the beam. So for this, first let us calculate the cross-sectional area, which is essential. Okay, 200 multiplied by 300, that is 6 into 10 to the power of 4 millimeter square. And next, we require moment of inertia, that is I is equal to, okay, we for a rectangular section, we know the formula BD cube by 12, that is 200 multiplied by 300 cube by 12, which is 45 into 10 to the power of 7 millimeter to the power of 4. And the next eccentricity, which is 50. So this is the beam. Okay, so this is the beam, PSC beam. Okay, and so for this beam, okay, they have been, okay, place this central axis, and to this they have been placed a cable that is constant. What is the meaning of constant eccentricity? That means throughout the length of a beam, the eccentricity will be same. So no change in the eccentricity, which indicates it is a straight cable. So instead of mentioning it is a straight cable, so this is the one more way they can mention constant eccentricity. That means throughout the length of this beam, the eccentricity will be 50 millimeter. It will be 50 millimeter. Is it clear? Fine. So let me proceed with the problem. Now, eccentricity is 50 mm. So now they have been given initial pre-stress, okay, which is required, essential, because without initial pre-stress we cannot calculate the percentage loss, which I am going to explain in the next. Okay, so initial pre-stress is very much essential, okay, in the case of a loss of pre-stress. Okay, next, in this particular problem, we require pre-stressing force. But in this problem, they are not being given a pre-stressing force. Instead of that, they have been given initial stress in the steel multiplied by the area of a cable. So that is, initial pre-stress in the steel is 1000 Newton per millimeter square, and then area of the cable is 320. So which will get you 320 kilonewton. The pre-stressing force of 320 kilonewton, okay, will be applied on both the ends, okay, in order to induce the compressive force on either ends. Is it clear? Next, one more data which is essential is modular ratio alpha E, that is ES by EC, that is modulus of elasticity of steel and modulus of elasticity of concrete. And very important thing you need to note down here is whatever the modulus of elasticity they have been given, please observe the units. See, the modulus of elasticity of steel, whatever they have been given, which is there in kilonewton per millimeter square, and also what is the modulus of elasticity of concrete they have been given, which is also in kilonewton per millimeter square. So in the examination, sometimes they vary the unit. So please, based upon this, okay, substitute this. So now since the units are same, now we can substitute directly 210 by 35, which is 6. If that is change in the units, then you need to substitute properly and get the modular ratio. Is it clear? Fine. So let me proceed. So first write down pre-tension beam. Okay. So now for pre-tension beam, what are the losses you will come across? The first loss is loss of pre-stress due to elastic deformation or elastic shorting. That is the first loss. Second one is shrinkage loss. Third one is creep loss. And fourth one is relaxation of stress in steel. So these are the four losses you will come across in the case of pre-tension. Okay, so you need to be very cautious while applying or using this formula. Okay, so first, loss of stress due to elastic deformation, which is given by, you already know the formula, that is modular ratio multiplied by the compressive stress in concrete at the level of steel, that is alpha E multiplied by FC. We know alpha E, but we don't know what is FC. How to calculate FC? We know the formula, that is compressive stress in concrete at the level of steel is equal to P by A plus PE by I into E minus M by I into E. So this terminology will become zero. Why? Because in the problem, okay, they have not been mentioned anything about the live load. Okay, so therefore we are going to neglect this, okay, the dead load and the live load acting on the beam. So hence this particular terminology will become zero. So left out is P by A plus PE by I into E. So substitute that. We know what is P, okay, we know what is A, and we know what is P, and we also know what is eccentricity, 50 millimeter, 50 millimeter, then 45 10 to the power of 7. You will get 7 Newton per millimeter square. So please be careful. We want FC in Newton per millimeter square. So hence all the parameters, that is A, I, E, okay, should be in millimeters, and pre-stressing should be in Newton. So then you will get the answer in Newton per millimeter square. So now you got 7. Substitute here. You already know what is modular ratio 6. So 6 multiplied by 7, 42 Newton per millimeter square will be the loss of pre-stress due to elastic deformation of in concrete in case of pre-tension PSCB. Next, loss of stress due to shrinkage. So loss of stress due to shrinkage is equal to epsilon CS multiplied by ES. Epsilon CS multiplied by ES. So you can see here loss of pre-stress, that is shrinkage of concrete, that is epsilon CS equal to 300 into 10 to the power of minus 6 for post tensioning. Okay, so therefore substitute that 300 into 10 to the power of minus 6 multiply by 210 into 10 to the power of 3, which has already been given. So hence the answer will be 63 Newton per millimeter square. So please be careful while substituting. Next, loss of stress due to creep. So when you are going to calculate the creep, loss of stress due to creep, you need to be very cautious, because in creep you already know there will be two formulas. One is ultimate creep strain method, another one is creep coefficient method. So now which formula you are going to use will be decided based upon the data given. So here they have been given creep coefficient data, that is 1.6. So if they are going to give a creep coefficient data, that means you need to use creep coefficient formula only. Therefore, loss of pre-stress due to creep by creep coefficient method equal to phi creep coefficient into modular ratio into FC. Substitute that 1.6 into 6. FC you already know 7, which is 67.2 Newton per millimeter square. Is it clear? Next, loss of stress due to relaxation. Okay, so as I stated, loss of stress due to relaxation, they are going to mention in percentages. You can see in the problem, the relaxation of steel in steel stress is equal to 5%. So consider that since it is in percentages, let us convert into Newton per millimeter square. That is 5 divided by 100 multiply by the the 1000. So where you got this 1000? That is initial pre-stress value. So please be careful. Okay, so 5% of initial pre-stress, 5 divided by 100 into 1000 will get you 50 Newton per millimeter square. So this is the loss of stress due to relaxation. So in the absence of relaxation data, you can go to the code and you can go to the table 6 and you can pick up those values. Is it clear? So this is the losses. Now in order to calculate the percentage loss, so let us sum up all the losses. That is total loss. So that is the loss due to the elastic deformation 42, loss due to shrinkage 67.2, loss due to creep 63. Okay, all those things plus the loss of stress due to relaxation, that is 50. If you sum up all these losses, you will get 222.20 Newton per millimeter square will be the total loss. That means you have been applied 1000 stress initially, but in that 1000 initial pre-stress, 222.20 losses has been encountered in the PSC. Is it clear? So what will be the net pre-stress available? 1000 minus 222.20. So that is the net pre-stress available. But in this problem is asking percentage loss. So therefore percentage loss of stress in wire is equal to total loss divided by initial pre-stress, that is 222.20 divided by initial. That's what I've been told. So if you want to calculate percentage loss, initial pre-stress is very much essential. So divide by initial pre-stress into 100. If you want to convert it to percentage, you will get 22.2 percentage. That means the total pre-stressing force applied is 100%. Okay, the losses encountered is 22.2. Okay, the net effect pre-stressing force or loss is available is 100 minus 22.2. So like this we need to calculate the loss of stress in the particular pre-tension PSC beam. So next let me move on to the post-tension beam. So first write down loss of stress due to elastic deformation. So once if you write down this heading, so you already know the two conditions. So first you need to start thinking whether the cables are simultaneously tensioned or whether the cables are tensioned one by one. So in this particular problem, in that context, they are not being mentioned anything. So whether the cables are simultaneously tensioned or one by one tension. At that circumstances, we need to consider all the cables are simultaneously tensioned. So please note this point. So when there is a data missing or in the absence of data, whether it is simultaneously tensioned or successively tensioned, at that particular instance, you need to consider, all the cables are simultaneously tensioned. So for that, as we know, if all the cables are simultaneously tensioned, loss of stress due to elastic deformation in post-tension beam is equal to zeros. So no loss has been encountered when it is simultaneously tensioned. Is it clear? Next, let me move on further. loss of stress due to shrinkage of concrete for post tension. So this data they have been given epsilon cs multiplied by es. So for that is the shrinkage strain in the concrete for post tension beam is 200 into 10 to the power of minus 6. So substitute that into es. Okay, we'll get you 21 Newton per millimeter square. Next, loss of pre-stress due to creep. So as I stated, so here also it is creep coefficient data. So alpha E into phi into Fc, which is 6 into 1.6 into 7, that is 67.2 Newton per millimeter square. Next, loss of stress due to relaxation, no change, 5%, that is 5 by 100 into initial pre-stress, that is 50 Newton per millimeter square. So these things you will also come across in the case of pre-tension. So the two more losses you will come across in the case of post-tension is loss of stress due to anchorage slips. What is the formula? Delta ES by L. So what is the delta? Slip on anchorage. So now please observe. So nowhere they have been mentioned. Okay, that is they have been what I can say at both ends they have been anchorage or something. Okay, so since they have not been mentioned, I am going to consider the anchorage as be done at one end. Okay, so therefore it is delta ES by L. So that is the slip in anchorage is 1. So they have been given in the problem, multiply by the modulus of elasticity of the steel divided by, okay, the length of the cable. So in the problem they are not going to specify length of the cable. Instead of that they are going to specify the span of the beam. So whatever the span of the beam is there, throughout that length, okay, I'm going to provide the steel. So once the length of the cable is equal to 10 meter. So substitute that. So please be cautious here. Since the length is given in meter, you need to convert it to millimeter because this is in Newton per millimeter square and this is in millimeter. You need to be very careful regarding this. So after substituting all these entities, you will get the answer 21 Newton per millimeter square. Is it clear? Next, let me move on further. So next, loss of pre-stress or stress due to friction. So that is P naught into mu alpha plus Kx. So this is the formula. So that is when there is a small, okay, we are going to neglect that exponential things and we are going to left out with only Px is equal to P naught into mu alpha plus Kx. And we know what is P naught, that is initial pre-stress. Okay, and we know, okay, what is, oh no, okay, that is mu. So what is mu? Coefficient of friction between cable and duct. So in the problem, they have not been mentioned anything regarding that. Okay, coefficient of friction between cable and duct. Okay, so hence I'm going to retain that as it is. Alpha is 0. Why it is 0? Cumulative angle is 0 because it is a straight cable. So for straight cable, no inclination will come into the picture. So hence it is 0. Plus the wobbling effect, that is 0.0015, they have been given into the pre-stressing. So in this particular thing, x is nothing but, okay, the distance in which it has been pre-stressed. So in this particular problem, it has been pre-stressed up to the 10 meter length because the cable length is 10 meter. So hence I'm going to substitute in meter, that is 10. Is it clear? So now, so please observe. Okay, so this, okay, the span and all those things. Okay, now so please observe. So all these entities, okay, is in meter. So whatever I'm going to substitute, this is in meter. So this is in meter, this is in meter. Okay, so hence the answer will be finally 15 Newton per millimeter square. So now, so in order to calculate the percentage loss of stress in wires for post tension beam, sum up all the or calculate the total losses. That is loss due to elastic deformation, loss due to shrinkage, loss due to creep, next loss due to friction, loss due to anchorage, everything you sum up. So we'll get 195.209 Newton per millimeter square. Is it clear? So in the pre-tension it was 222, but in post-tension it has been reduced 195.20 Newton per millimeter square. Is it clear? So if you want to calculate the percentage loss, then it is 195.2 divided by 1000, that is initial pre-stress, into 100 will get you 19.52. That means compared to the loss, okay, that is pre-tension beam, the loss of stress in particular steel, that is in the case of post tension beam, is less. Okay, so like this we need to solve the problems, okay, by observing the given data. So hope the problem you have been understand. It is a very simple problem I have been solved in this particular session. Okay, by giving all the data, you need to calculate the loss of stress in the wire, that is percentage loss of stress in the wire for post tension beam and for a pre tension beam. Is it clear? So like this we need to calculate the or go ahead with the problem. So with this, okay, I'm going to end the session. So hope you have understood the concept. So we will work out the different end condition you will come across in the case of loss of pre-stress in the next session. So with this, I am going to wind up the class. Thank you for joining.